Do you find yourself wishing you had time to stamp or not sure what to stamp when you do find some time? My name is Amanda Farlinger, and I help busy women create memories while crafting cards and scrapbook pages using stamps, ink, and paper. There are times, like last night, I was thinking about what card to make for today's video, where I know I should stamp, but not sure if my to-do list has time for me to stamp. Does that sound familiar to you? And sometimes this will happen for a few nights where I feel like stamping, but I don't feel I have the time to do it. And but I know it's self-care to be creative, and so I need to make some time. So I'm making time to share how you can use a card you've made before to craft. So this one here, you may have spied it on my YouTube video or my YouTube channel last week, I think it was, within the last couple of weeks, using new products from the annual catalog and the new ink colors. This Tahitian Tide, this blue, is gorgeous. Not my favorite new ink color, but one of the new ink colors. And we're going to use another new ink color, my second favorite, and the Artfully Layered stamp set from the mini catalog. And I have a bigger image for you. So this stamp set has a coordinating die, and the links for these products are in the notes. So just down below this video will be links to my online store for the products. And so if you're in Canada, you can click those links and purchase those. Or if you have questions, please let me know. So I love the thank you in this. It has two different fonts, and so we're going to use that. And we're going to change it up a little bit because this thank you is a different size than what's in the Tea Boutique stamp set. So this one here, I did a square. So I was trying to think of what card to make and decided that I would go through the cards I've made the last little bit, and whichever card layout spoke to me, I was going to make. So recreate it. And we're not going to use designer paper, even though it's one of my favorite things to use. But we're going to recreate this using a new ink color, which is Starry Sky. It's a purpley blue. And, excuse me, I'm going to put this off to the side for a minute. We have Bermuda Bay, which it doesn't look Bermuda Bay on my screen, so I'm sorry. There we go. That's Bermuda Bay with the Starry Sky. And then we have some soft seafoam. So the color is a little bit off of my screen, so I'm sorry for that. So my card base is a Bermuda Bay, and I already have it scored in half. So it's a half sheet of cardstock, cut at 5 1/2, and scored at 4 1/4. Then I have this soft seafoam. I'm not going to glue it on yet because we're going to do some stamping. Soft seafoam, which is 3 3/4 by 5. Then we have a piece of Starry Sky, which is a new ink color, and it is let me get my ruler. I thought I could remember it, but I guess not. So 1 3/4 by 2 1/2. So then we have a piece of basic white to go on top. So it's 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. And then we have another piece of basic white we're going to do some other stamping on. And this is 4 by, I want to say 2 1/2. No, 2 3/4. All right. So one of my favorite things to use when stamping is a deluxe foam mat. We're going to recreate these flowers here using these little, I don't know, the leaves? I don't think they're flowers, but they could be flowers. But we're going to use this. Oopsie. And a block. And then we're going to use the same color. So I used Tahitian Tide to stamp right on the Tahitian Tide cardstock. So we are going just to move this all down a little. And then that's a little inky. Let me find a scrap piece of cardstock. That shouldn't be too bad. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's really inky how it's going to look. So we're just going to, I guess I should switch this because we're going to do it landscape, not portrait for this card. So I'm just going to switch it here because I want to be able to see how it's going to look. And if you put the white over it, just a little to see what's actually going to show, that can be helpful. And I think that's all I'm going to do, just a little bit. Then we can take our Simply Chamois, which is soaked in water, squeezed out a little bit. And then I'm going to use the Simply Chamois on my deluxe foam mat. And my chamois is a little too wet, but that's okay. All right. Next, we're going to stamp the sentiment while I'm thinking of it. Sometimes I forget about the sentiments. I don't know why. And this time, we're going to use the new Starry Sky. And I wanted to do a thank you card. So Stampin' Up! Has this hashtag simple stamping challenge they give to demonstrators every month. And this month, they asked us to create a thank you card using an in color and only using stamps, ink, and paper. So that means I can't use designer paper. So this is usually a challenge for me because I love using designer series paper on everything because I use it for my color ideas. So to get this color combo, I basically went over to my in colors and went, which color do I want to use? And it was between Starry Sky or Orchid Oasis. And then I pulled out Bermuda Bay, and then Starry Sky worked better. And then I went to the subtles, and I'm like, well, a light green would be helpful. So I think this is a good color combo. Drop me a comment. I'd love to know if you like this color together. We're going to see how this goes. All right, so now I'm going to glue my sentiment onto my Starry Sky piece. Oops, using my liquid adhesive, my favorite adhesive. And you do have to be careful with it because if you squeeze too much, you'll get too much on the cardstock. All right, so there's our thank you ready to go. We have our base part ready to go. So I'm actually going to put the, oops, knocked over the glue. I'm going to put the base part onto the base, the card base, I should say. So put a little bit of glue, remembering that I'm going to do it landscape. And use those grid lines to have a rough idea of it being kind of straightish. If it's off a little, no big deal. All right, so the sentiment's going to go here. We need to stamp our white. So because we're not going to use the designer paper, we're going to create our own designer paper. So we're going to have it go, let's bring this back in. This is going to go like this, and this is going to be here. So we have our three colors. I'm going to move this card over. We have Bermuda Bay, Starry Sky, and Soft Seafoam. And then, so let's open those up. And one of the things I like about our stamp pads is you have a little strip of color that can go in the little tab there so that I can remember which color is which. So this is the light green, this is the dark Bermuda Bay, and this is the darker Starry Sky. All right, so we have block E. So it'll tell you in the catalog what blocks work best for the stamp set that you're wanting to purchase. So then you can see if you have the right block or if you need to add one. All right, so let's see, what else do I want to do? I want to do this little, I don't know, words or whatever it is. And then I think we will do this big leaf as well. So I need another block. I think we can use block, is it C? Nope, block D. All right. So I have my 3 stamps, my 3 colors, and we're going to make our own designer paper. Let's see how this goes. All right. So I'm going to start with my big one first, but I think I'm going to do this in Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to do the bigger one. And of course, because it's so big, I should have just opened the ink pad. But I find it hard to close them without getting ink all over my fingers, which is fun to get ink on your fingers every once in a while. Okay, I think I have enough Bermuda Bay ink on there. So because it is a small piece, you want to be careful about where to put it. I think I need more ink on there next time. That's okay. All right, so we're going to ink this up some more. It'll still look pretty. It'll be fun. And stamp there. So I'm going to leave this for later. I'm just going to set way, way over there because it'll be a lot of ink coming off there. All right, so we have that. And just grab another towel there to wipe it off. All right, so now we're going to take the other kind of big leaf, but not so, shall I say, opaque? I don't know. So ink that up with Starry Sky. So just make sure all that ink is on there. And we're going to stamp here. Ooh, I like that. It's always fun to see the stamps right down on the page, like on the paper, and just to see how it looks and how vibrant the colors are. It's just so much fun. I was talking with a new friend, and she mentioned about what products to start with. And I suggested picking out your favorite stamp set and then your favorite colors and go from there, because that's all you need is stamps, ink, and paper. And you can add on the other pieces like designer paper or die cutting machine at a later date. All right, so this one we're going to do a little technique. It's not very hard. So for anyone who has been around a while, you've probably done this lots. For someone who's new, this is called stamp off. So we're going to stamp on to my deluxe foam mat, and then we're going to stamp onto my project. So what we're doing is, even though this is a light green, I'm taking some of the color off so it's more muted, I guess would be the word. So there we go. And maybe one more. Right there. All right. So one more clean of the deluxe foam mat, just so I don't put it away dirty. And I don't know if you saw, but I'll just show. See, the blue water is because of the Starry Sky ink, and it soaks it back up. And when I rinse it under the tap, just keep rinsing it until it's clean. And then you just need some, that's all you need. Okay, make sure my hands aren't wet. All right, so now we can put this together. And when you create cards making your own DSP, each one can be a little bit different, and you can use the colors you have on hand. This month with Stampin' Up, so until May 31st, you can purchase the starter kit and receive $91 worth of in-color supplies. So you'd receive the Starry Skies and Tahitian Tide and Sweet Sorbet and Parakeet Party and Orchid Oasis. I think that's all 5 colors for free on top of the starter kit. So $135, you can pick 165 and receive 91, I think it's 91.25 extra on top for free. All right, so we have our little sentiment I'd like to use dimensionals, but one of the rules is you can't use it for simple stamping. So I gotta follow the rules. All right, so I guess I put my basic white stamped piece a little too far over that way because I don't have enough over here, but that's okay. I really do like how it turned out. So if you're someone who needs to make some time, but then you're not sure maybe what to stamp, pick a project you've done before, whether it's a class that I've offered you've taken and those designs, or if it's something you've seen online, either on my Pinterest channel, or even with something that Stampin' Up! Has shared, or even in the catalog. Those are great places to find ideas, to be inspired, to be crafty. So I hope that you take some time in the near future to have some self-care time, to create some projects and have some fun. And if you need any help, please let me know. And also in the bottom, underneath this video, hit subscribe so that when I go have another video, you'll see it. And all the products I've used in today's video are listed there as well.